Hello, Dr. Danger Massat here, and I thought I'd give you a quick overview of these earbuds here. I wanted to get at something a bit different actually, because everyone goes for normal Sony, Beats, all that kind of stuff, and I thought I'd try these ones because they had quite good reviews. They're by a company called Beyerdynamic, and the product is called Free Byrd. Beyerdynamic are a German company, and I'm a bit of a fan of German engineering. So this is a presentation, which is quite nice. Let's open up, see what we've got. Right, we're presented with the earbuds straight away in a case like that. There you go. It's actually quite weighty. We'll look at those in a bit. In the case, we have a nice, almost Apple type presentation. A little find out more here. So we pull this out. There we have all the documentation, but we don't read instructions. They're for girls. Now this is nice. If you look here, we have all types of earbuds. Now there are two types. The orange ones here, these are foam, and they're designed for if you're doing sports activities. These ones are silicone, and they're just for normal everyday use. And as you can see, they're in lots of different sizes and colours. So we've got XL, L, medium, small, extra small. So to the headphones themselves. Now this case is rechargeable. If you can see there, it's rechargeable using a Type-C charger, which is actually included in the box. It can do QI charging, so you can put it on your magnetic charger like you would with other Apple products, for example. Now they're quite large, as you can see, so it'll be interesting to see how they fit. I'm going to test them with some medium earbuds here, and I'll give you a shot of what they look like once they're in ear. So one of the first things I found when it comes to using them is you're constantly looking around for which is left and which is right. Maybe it's something you get used to, I don't know. Oh, it's there, it says L. The earbuds come with an app which you can download from the App Store. It's a really nice app actually, very clean, easy to use and very reliable. And what we've got in the app are, as you can see, we've got ANC mode, which is noise cancelling. You can have it on or you can have it transparent. Transparent is where you can hear certain sounds outside the music you're listening to. For example, if you're crossing a road, you'd want to hear a car. Low latency mode. If, for example, you're gaming, you want the sound and the image to be very closely matched. The sound profile, which is quite neat actually, you've got the original, which are default sound settings, and you've got your own personalised ones, because you can set up your own personal preferences. Now you can either go really extreme, up to your personalised settings, or you can go right back to what Beyerdynamic set the sound as, or you can just do a mixture. The equalizer function is quite simple. You can only pick certain profiles. For example, if you like bass, you can pick bass. Or if you listen to lots of, for example, talk radio, you can pick speech. The statistics basically just give you usage, how long the earbuds were up and running for, how long you use them in that time, how long you're on the phone, and I don't know how many starts is. I'm not going to fib. These are the controls for the earbuds, so you know what you're doing. Now we're going to go back to this setting here, which is choose voice assistants. When I purchased these earbuds, it said they had Alexa and Google and some other voice assistants built in. If you go onto the voice assistant, there is no option to select Alexa or Google or Siri or anything. It just says default, and I'm not actually sure what default is. So I contacted support at Beyerdynamic. I got an email back in German 6 days ago saying they'd contact me in 1 to 3 days, and I've heard nothing. So that is a big black mark. If you've got a new product, they should be all over you, but they weren't. So I was a bit disgruntled by that actually. The The final page is just an information page. So they're all fairly self-explanatory. You can go into various things and have a look around. I think, which is a really wonderful feature, if you go into settings, you can personalise your sound. And I don't mean it's just choosing softer, recommended or richer. You can go way more than that. You can create your own hearing ID, and they will play you lots of sounds, find out where your hearing is slightly deficient, and then they will compensate for those deficiencies by boosting certain frequencies. It's that kind of tech that I think is really, really good about these earbuds.
So we've established that the app's pretty good, and the main event with any form of headphones, earbuds, whatever, is of course the sound. I am not a sound engineer, so I haven't got lots of kit to rig up to them to measure things like attenuation, isolation, frequencies or whatever. But I do have quite a lot of high-end audio kit, so I've got some decent stuff to compare it to, which is unfortunate for Beyerdynamic. I did listen to lots of different types of music. I listened to classical. I listened to talk radio so I could hear what speech was like. And of course, I listened to Nirvana, a little bit of bass. But in this case, I thought the bass was at the cost of the high-end notes because they didn't sound as punchy or as crisp as they could be. I like a crystal clear high note and a good bass, but without that impacting on these other sounds of the music. I did try changing a lot of the settings, so it was medium or heavy or smooth, and I did try different settings within the equalisation section, but it is never absolutely brilliant, not as good as some of the earbuds I've listened to in the past. Another feature which is big with earbuds in particular is the noise cancelling, the ANC function. These performed well, not fantastically. So they did block out a lot of background noise when I was wearing them, but they didn't block out all of it to the extent that you felt you were immersed in what you were listening to. You could still hear bits and bobs of what was going on outside. The earbuds are also rated as IPX4. Now, if you don't know what that is, it's to do with their water resistance. So that means that these can be taken down the gym and you can get sweaty with them, or you can wear them in the rain, but don't go scuba diving with them. In terms of battery life, that was excellent. I was wearing them probably 8 hours straight and it still had a bit of life in it. Not much, but could have probably kept going. So I would say, yeah, right up there. No issues whatsoever. Connected straight away to everything they were supposed to connect to. Absolutely spot on. When I first took these out of the case, I went, they're massive. I thought, no way are they going to be comfortable. I was wrong. They are very comfortable. I mean, they're a bit of a faff to put in. For some reason, the orientation on these is difficult to put in the case and difficult to put in your ears. But apparently, there is a screw method which helps you put it in the case and in your ears. But you could wear these all day, and they're very well balanced as well, so they don't feel like they're hanging out your ears, even though there's this big bit. I think these are not particularly premium looking. If you look, it's all plastic. And when you look at other premium earbuds, look at Bowers & Wilkins, Bang & Olufsen, Technics, Sony, all the other ones, they have features on them which make them feel like they're really high end, and these don't. I don't need them to be dripping in diamonds, but I wouldn't complain. But, just something to add to the styling a little bit more. To give a balanced view of these earbuds, we also need to talk about the cons. The main ones are threefold. The first one is that they're advertised as having Alexa or a voice assistant built in. They don't appear to have one built in. First off, if they do, they don't work using the earbuds on their own. Secondly, if you have to activate them in the app, there is no voice assistant option other than default. Second con is the lack of support. Now, this is a biggie for me. I've just spent a lot of money on what's classed as a premium product, and they can't be bothered answering my query about how to set up. The third con is the volume. I found it quite quiet. Now, I know that my hearing is not the best because I spent too many years riding motorbikes without ear protection, but still, I find them too quiet. I know it's probably health and safety or something like that, trying to protect my ears by limiting the volume, but quite frankly, I'm grown up, and if I want to perforate my eardrums, I want to have the freedom to do so. They actually look like they should be able to pack a powerful punch, but they can't. So, I have decided, because I'm a hard taskmaster, that these are going back. I'm going to return them. Not because they're not good enough as a product, necessarily, although they fall short on the volume and also the voice assistant, but because the support's rubbish. Now, I, having my own businesses, know how much value I put on customer support and how much effort I've got to put in to providing that. And that makes me someone very hard to please, I should imagine. Probably a nightmare, actually. I'm probably a nightmare. But the product alone, if I had to rank that, I would give that a 70%. If I was just looking at the product and not the things that annoyed me about customer support and about the voice assistant. So, this is not a shoddy product by a long way. It's pretty good. If you've got these, I'd be interested to hear what you think about them. So please just leave a message in the comments, and I hope you find it useful.